Today, I am so glad to be joined by such an incredible woman of God. I always like to say that because to me, that is the biggest amazing thing about her. But she's also an actress, a filmmaker, a New York Times bestselling author, and the CCO of Lightworkers Media. And it's the one and only Miss Roma Downey. Thank you so much for taking time to
Oh,
chat with
Jeannie,
me.
thank you for taking time to chat with me. It's lovely to see you again.
I always love to talk with you because I know that every time we do talk, you're doing something that is impacting this world in a positive way. And I am grateful. I told you this offline, but I mean it. I'm grateful for people like you in this world, really.
Oh, well, thank you. I feel, I've felt a call on my life for many years, and I just continue to try to create and generate content that is hopeful, that is uplifting, that's inspiring in some way. And so I'm very excited to share with you that I'm about to release my brand new book. It's called
Yes.
Unexpected Blessings. And you've got your copy, and I pray that it's a blessing in your life and a blessing in the lives of all the readers out there that hopefully will pick it up.
Yeah, so it's Unexpected Blessings, 90 inspirations to nourish your soul and open your heart. And I love that, even just that subtitle, because we have a lot of things that nourish us, whether it's by entertaining us, or you can go out there and get whatever meal you want to get and things like that. Especially as Americans, we're very fortunate. We have things that we can satisfy our appetites in the flesh, if you will. But you're making content that is to nourish the soul and to open the heart, which is deeper than that. Can you kind of talk about that, like go venturing into that deeper place?
Yes, absolutely. A few years ago, I wrote a book called Box of Butterflies. And really, it was kind of a spiritual memoir, if you will, where I invited the reader to take a journey with me through my life. And the thread that connected it all together of my journey was God and the presence of God, and how grateful I am that each step of the way that, God has met me there, has walked with me as I have walked with him. And when the idea came to me, it really came to me during lockdown, because it's been a very challenging few years, I think, for everybody, for all of us, right? With COVID and one thing and another. And I decided that if Box of Butterflies was the tree, then this new book, Answered Prayers, was like a branch of really doing that deeper dive, of understanding that that while life may not be unfolding the way we imagined, that there are still blessings everywhere. And there's a discipline involved to kind of train your mind and train your heart to see them. There's a beautiful poem by American poet Mary Oliver. And in that poem, she says, "Someone once gave me a box of darkness, but it's taken me till now to realize that this too was a gift." And so I found my experience, Jeannie, of particularly the first year of COVID, where there was so much anxiety and so much uncertainty and so much we didn't know about it. And for those of us that were fortunate enough not to get sick, I know that some people got very sick, and it was, it was awful for many, many people. People lost their lives. We were fortunate that didn't happen in our family. But instead, the time that we had to slow down, it forced a sort of a re-looking at our lives, and finding new priorities, and I guess real value, and spending time with family and so on. And so it really set me on this journey to explore the unexpected blessings, and to see that, like the Mary Oliver poem, even things that come in that are challenging, or, that seem like obstacles, that if you really have an open heart and, and are willing to spend a little bit of time each day with God, you'll start to see that the blessings are everywhere.
I love that. And you know, I love that you particularly said it's on us, you know, to have that open heart and to really embrace. You know, you said while writing your book before this, you realized the presence of God was always with you. And I, you know, I find that sometimes people hear that and they're just like, I don't know what that is, or you know, how I can find that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to
Yeah.
hear.
Well, just, it's the presence of God usually brings with it a sense of peace in your life. Um, I know that for me, one of my favorite scriptures is just to be still and know, to be still and know that He is God. But the emphasis here is on the stillness, and it's just taking that, taking that time. I mean, I'm very disciplined to take time each day to go to the gym. And in the same way, you were talking in the introduction about the sort of physical nourishing, maybe of what we eat, what we put in our bodies, and the physical discipline of taking care of our bodies, of trying to stay healthy and trying to stay fit. But just as equally, the importance of taking care of our spirits, taking care of our souls. And for me, that usually looks like just taking time for reflection in the morning. It sets me up for, it strengthens me for the day. And so I wrote this book, Jeannie, really as a devotional, and invite the audience to take this 90-day journey, just to deepen their own walks a little bit, and just an invitation to spend some time in the presence of God.
I love it. And as I was looking through it, I saw you kind of had some sections, you sectioned it off, you used words like strength and courage and love, stillness, gratitude, and home. And I was just so it's very like it makes you want to pick it up and really read like what about strength do I really need? What about courage? So is there any if you'd like to maybe share about the actual topics that you chose and why you thought those were like key things that we should press into?
Yes, of course. I actually, because this was the deeper dive than my first book, these were themes that were also present in that book. And I really wanted to explore these further for myself. So each entry in the book, and the book is really pretty as well, I have to add.
It's beautiful.
They followed my love of butterflies, and what you will find in the book is that each chapter begins with a quote, either a quote that has touched my life, or a quote from the Bible, and then I reflect on how that quote or the meaning in that quote has impacted my life. I tell a few personal anecdotes, and then I end each entry with a prayer that we can pray along together. And yes, I mean, I think that the themes pretty much cover the wide gamut of all of our experiences. But, once I really started exploring and looking for blessings, it seemed that they just began to multiply. And I think that, I'm hoping that's one of the takeaways for readers of the book, that, it's easy for us to complain about what we don't have. But the minute we switch our focus to being grateful for what we do have, for really seeing the glass is half full, and not see that it's half empty, it can just make all the difference in your life. I know that, I still start my day in gratitude. Many years ago, somebody shared with me, Jeannie, that when you get out of bed in the morning and that first, as you're walking into the bathroom, that when your first foot hits the floor to say thank, and your second foot hits the floor to say you, and to just have a walk of gratitude. as you get up in the morning. And I do it every morning. I just find that it's like a good reset to the day. Because intention is everything, isn't it? When we can set the intention and look for the blessings. And like that Mary Oliver quote, where you think that something really bad, like COVID, came in, and yes, it was confusing and upsetting and frightening. And as I say, for many people, it was dangerous. But for those of us that made it through, there was opportunity to slow down, to spend quality time with family, to really enjoy, a little bit more time in the day that wasn't so scheduled. I live in Los Angeles, so there's a lot of driving out here for meetings. And of course, that all stopped. Zoom became a word in my vocabulary I'd never heard before COVID. And yet here we are, where we are able to conduct business and get so much done. But the absence of driving everywhere gave me a little bit of extra time in my day. And that was a blessing. There was just time to read, or to, as I say, to spend quality time with my kids, with my husband, with my dogs. But I like to write in the morning. So this was kind of born out of that experience. And it's just, if you look for the good, the chances are you'll find the good.
Yes, and we need that. We need those reminders. We need to continually just kind of recondition ourselves to look for that good. And I love that the illustration of when you step out of your bed, your first foot is think, and that second foot is you. I think that's so good, because that's something that we can actually take and walk into our days, just knowing, oh, I gotta remember to do this. I gotta be in gratitude. You know, in secular Hollywood, if you will, there's there can be stigmas against doing inspirational anything at times, or it's just probably going to lead you down a place where you're not going to be accepted. But Roma, I don't know if it was unexpected or not, but you and your husband have embraced your faith, you have promoted your faith, and you have been successful with just sharing the message of faith through media in Hollywood in multiple facets. Was that an unexpected blessing for you?
Oh gosh, yes. It's all been an unexpected blessing, honestly, right back from the beginning when I got my big breakthrough role playing the angel Monica on TV in Touched by an Angel. And, I guess, we have stepped out boldly. Someone a few years ago called us the noisiest Christians in Hollywood. And certainly we have been noisy, it's true. But, it's such an opportunity to be able to share our love of God and to evangelize a little bit through our work, at the same time to make sure the work is still quality work and entertaining work. And, at the end of last year, I had the opportunity to produce a movie that I filmed in Atlanta, Georgia. It's based on a true story. It's called On a Wing and a Prayer, and hopefully it will be coming to theaters this summer. So it stars Dennis Quaid and Heather Graham, and it's an extraordinary story of faith. And so, these are the themes that continue to show up in my work, and in my work with my husband. We produced the Bible series together, and Son of God. And, as we approach the Easter week, I've started to see on TV a lot of these programs starting to rerun. They're as people, at Holy Week, the beginning of Holy Week, turn our attention to, to the wonderful and glorious message of Easter. So yeah, it's been, and we have fun. We love doing what we do. Mark and I love working together when the opportunity arises. And, I always say we're in the business of hope. And, there's no greater hope than in the hope, that the promise of heaven and, and the comforts and joy that come from being a believer. So yeah, noisy Christians.
Hey, you know what? You're leading the charge, though. It's funny. Dennis Quaid is now in so many faith-based films, and
Yes.
there's so many other. Denzel Washington has been extremely outspoken about his faith, and as we've seen with just I don't want to name drop, but there's tons of celebrities now that are. I feel like
Yes.
there's just an openness now that wasn't quite there when you guys first started and
I
stepped
think
out as
that's
bold.
good. I think when we first started, there's certainly, and there's still opposition. Listen, there's always, not everybody's going to love what you do, and not everybody's going to, respond to that positively. But, just to have courage and to keep moving forward with strength. And, in my experience, we're a big community of people, and the content may not be for everybody. We're not trying to force it down anybody's throat. We're just creating it and lovingly inviting people to participate. So, and I have found over the years, the longer I've been in this space, in this faith space, like 30 years, I've been creating this kind of content. Is that, for the most part, people are very respectful and, and kind, In my experience, there are good people everywhere doing good things. And, if anything, we just need to make more noise for the good guys out there,
And you remind
continue.
us, you
Yeah.
continue to remind us because we're inundated with all the other stuff. So light
Yes.
workers, when it comes up on my feed, it's always a reminder that, there's something great happening out there. And thank God for people like you and writing content like this. I thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to share with us,
No,
Roma?
I just think that as a reminder, with Easter fast approaching and Mother's Day just around the corner, that unexpected blessings, because it's so pretty. There's a beautiful spring cover, and this butterfly theme weaves its way through the pages. That it'll make a beautiful gift for somebody that you care about. And I should mention that I also had the opportunity to record the book myself. So, because I know more and more people, would rather listen to a book maybe than sit and read the book. So just wanted to let your listeners be aware that the audio version is also available. So, pick one up for your mom or for somebody that you care about. And, I just pray it's a blessing in everyone's life.